So let's talk about proportions. Proportions is a fancy way of saying two equal fractions. So if so let's write that down, equal fractions. So if I have, for example, the fraction 1 over 2 and the fraction 2 over 4, I can say that these two things are equal, and the reason they're equal is because I can scale the 1/2 and make it equal to 2 over 4 by multiplying the bottom by 2 and by multiplying the top by 2, so by a scale factor of 2, which will give me 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. And so indeed these two fractions are equal, and therefore we can say that 1/2 and 2 quarters is proportional. Being able to do this, being able to say that two fractions are equal to each other, helps us solve problems in proportions. So for example, if I have 3/5 is equal to, I don't know how many, 20/5, then by scaling this fraction over here, 3/5, by scaling it with a scale factor of 5, so by multiplying this by 5 and this by 5, we can see that 5 times 5 gives the 25 from over here, and 3 times 5 will give the 15 that belongs in the numerator above. And therefore, the unknown value that goes above here is 15. We can see that scale factors help us find the missing value in a proportion, find the missing value in equal fractions. But what happens if you can't easily go from one denominator to another the way we just did in the last two examples by one simple scale factor? So let me just minimize this. I'm going to minimize it, and I'm going to move it out of the way, and I'm going to write down the question now. 9 out of, say, 12 is equal to some unknown amount, which I'll write down as x, over 100. So this is less obvious than before, because now what scale factor can I multiply the 9 over 12 by so that my denominator ends up being 100? Well, it turns out that to get 12 to become 100, I would have to multiply by 8.3 repeating. But I can't spend forever writing 8.3 on my calculator, so there's got to be a better way. One trick is to notice that we can reduce this fraction. We reduce it by a scale of 4, so we divide not by 4, but by 3. We can reduce this by a scale of 3 by dividing the top and the bottom by 3. And reducing this gives us 3 over 4. And so the 3 over 4 is equal to 9 over 12. They're the same valued fractions. And since 3 over 4 is equal to 9 over 12, and 9 over 12 is equal to x over 100, I can say that 3 over 4 is equal to x over 100 also. And now I can continue my problem, and I can say, well, what scale factor can I multiply the 4 by to get 100? And the answer is I can multiply by 25 on the bottom and 25 on the top, and 4 times 25 gives me 100, while 3 times 25 will give me the numerator, and that would be 75.